Alright, so we're trying to filter whether or not we want to see all announcements or just my own group announcements. Alright, where does it get written down about between the announcements that I want to see and just, oh, okay, just my groups. It's not a subscribe or a mute. I misunderstood that. And the reason why is because we're going to need another thing here, some sort of subscribed status, and it'll be another like db column for a boolean, so it'll be yes or no, and we'll have to queue that. Rather, we'll need to build into the group model on whether or not you are subscribed. We don't have a, because it'll be unique to each individual user's relationship with that group, whether or not they want to subscribe to their announcements. So we're going to need to but you'll need to be able to subscribe to things that you're not a member of. So we could have like a subscriber role, active not, and then, it'll be a quiet role that'll just have those announcements highlighted if you wanted to subscribe to a group without being a full member. So anyway, but that's not actually what this button is. Just you want to filter just on your groups. But we already have a hasMember function right here that will see if you're it as a full member. So in that case, all we have to do is inside the news form, in the news feed, as we loop through this, this is the news item. Cool. Okay, I actually don't want these as IDs. So we'll add a class. Says you are a member if you, for each announcement we'll access its group and then we'll run that hasMember function with the current user's ID. If that's true, if it returns true, then we'll have the news item with a class isMember. If not, we will make a class isNotMember. Okay, let's see if that works. Okay. Okay, so this is the source of the problem that we're getting from trying to do this. Okay, I got it loaded. Oop. Hold on a second. A newsfeed. Inspect. Cool. isMember. Cool. And what happens, I had to change it to just current user, not current user ID, because over here, it takes a user object, not the ID, and because it'll look up the ID here. I had to use db.session.query. I also frowned at this being used here. User models has a lot of stuff you have no need to import. So like all of these are for Flask admin. So this data is now being leaked because it's being imported to another file unnecessarily. So there's no need for this to be imported over here. So do import just what you need. Alright. But otherwise, you now have a tag on isMember or isNot. So, welcome to your first JavaScript lesson. First thing, just like how we have a custom CSS, we're going to need a custom JavaScript file here. So, custom.js, okay. And then in our base template here, we have to say that we get to run the last script. So custom.js Scripts, this is going to be coming with the template that you purchased, so a lot of useful things in these two. But our last final layer can go in here. Now, when this file runs, it will already have access to jQuery, which we'll use to do a lot of handy things. The problem with this, and there's a way to fix this that I looked up once and I can't remember what it was. But when I run a custom and I start coding this, if I use a symbol here, it's going to start throwing me errors. And there is a way that I can tell, hey, assume that jQuery is loaded, so that it won't give me these warnings. Alright, so let's add this link. Let's give this an ID, and we'll call it filter my groups. We just hit it with that ID, and so we can say, hey, when the ID filter my groups is clicked, we want to select all of the items with the class, what's it called? Newsfeed. All the will be is member and not member. So we want to select all of the classes called not member, and we will hide those. Cool. Yeah, it'll just select all of them and hide them. That's simple. Meanwhile, if we if I hit show all groups, we will make sure we show. That's simple. But we need to make sure that button is given the right ID. So those buttons are linked up. Alright, looks like I'm just going to save this to kick a reload again. And well, now I need to make a group that I don't have a relationship with and see an announcement. So let's see if I can get into the Flask admin here and make an announcement. Well, how many groups are there? There's only one group. So if I create a group, it's got to be in my school though. I guess we're not filtering by school, so maybe I can get away with this. Announcements, name is don't see me. It's live, okay. And it has to have a school ID. Well, it means I have to create a school. And oh, it's trying to get a school ID here when creating a new school. So, what's this? It's not from here. It's when I'm making a new group. So when I'm making a new group, the school, it's assuming that there is a school ID. So if user.schoolid, then do that. So don't add one unless there is one. Okay. Oh, because I'm using Flask, it has no access to the user in that context. So if there's a user and it has a school ID, then use that. Alright, that should refresh that, kicking that over. Okay. And now, retry that. Cool. Okay. And I can add this to a school too. Alright. Okay, so it does work, but now I'm not seeing all of the other announcements. So the ones that are in my group, for some reason I'm not seeing. Oh, because the announcement that I can't see isn't listed in my school? So the announcement also gets a school tag? And does that fix that? Yep. So now all announcements and just my announcements. All announcements, just my announcements. Cool.